name is Kiera Kling, and I am the class of 2030 at FAU studying health science to become a registered dietitian. The Frugal Meal was created by Pablo Picasso in 1904 during a blue period, which was a time in his career where he focused on using a cool palette to depict figures in society measuring about 45.5 by 37 centimeters. I believe the most important element in this piece is line work, as it changes the whole idea of the picture. Picasso uses a lot of thin and rough lines that add texture. In the art, the thin lines emphasize how undernourished the people are. The curved lines on their arms, and specifically their shoulders, show vulnerability and exhaustion from not receiving enough food. The usage of rough lines really emphasize the harshness of hunger and being undernourished. After looking at this artwork by Picasso, I'm able to connect it to my future career as a sports nutritionist, because nutrition has a significant effect on health and physical performance of athletes. In the artwork, they are weak and malnourished because they don't have access to food, which shows how much food and nutrition can play a role on our bodies and health.
Hello, my name is Johan. I am a freshman at Florida Atlantic University, and I'm currently on a pre-business MIS track. Today I will be analyzing the formal element of space as it relates to this artwork. In this artwork, the artist very intentionally uses a empty background as a way to emphasize the silence and the weight of the overall atmosphere. I also feel that the artist intentionally uses a lack of detail for the background, the space surrounding the two figures, as a way to emphasize the subject of the painting. The artist also does a very good job at creating a very relatable emotion to the viewer of the artwork, where even with company, one can very easily be captivated by their own train of thought. And I feel that this artwork does a very good job at displaying that scenario in which, even with the presence of company, we are still consumed by our own thought.
Hello, my name's Anabella Komaromi. My major is medical biology, and I'm entering my sophomore year. In the artwork The Frugal Meal, Picasso uses the formal element value, the range from light to dark, to build this complex image, even though it's just black ink on paper. The brightest areas, like the woman's face and the tablecloth, are left almost completely white, so your eye goes straight there. The darkest areas, like the man's jacket and the empty plate, are built from tightly packed ink lines. In between, Picasso uses a lighter cross-hatching strategy to shape parts of the body, giving them form without using any solid outline. This contrast between light and dark is what makes the figures look so gaunt and worn, which sets a quiet, almost melancholy mood without even needing color. In fact, it's this contrast that I personally relate to. As a medical biology major, I'm used to reading the body in different ways, seeing how microscopic parts can come together to form different and complex systems. Seeing that same idea show up in art through light and shadow instead of science makes it click differently for me. This artwork also just fits where I am right now. I'm trying to enjoy summer while keeping up with classes and thinking about my future in medicine. The man and the woman here aren't in crisis, but they're not fully at ease either. They're just trying to get through this moment. That's kind of how this time in my life feels. Not everything's resolved, but I'm learning to sit with that and just take things one step at a time.
Hi, my name is Bennett Kinne, and I'm going to be a freshman this year at FAU. I'm majoring in business with a minor in real estate and hopes to become a real estate agent. I'm part of Group 18, and the artwork we chose for this project is The Frugal Meal by Pablo Picasso. I chose to discuss the light in this artwork, which is one of the strongest visual elements in this piece. Picasso makes the illusion of light to form the figures and guide the viewer's eye to different areas. In this picture, the light is coming from the top left side. There is a lightly lit spot on the wall behind the two figures, and you can also tell it is coming from that direction by the woman's face, which is brightly illuminated, who is facing left, versus the man, who is darker, facing towards the right. The light is selective in this piece, which allows for a more striking effect in order to draw the attention on the two figures. Light's contrast allows definition in the two characters forming their bodies and facial expressions. This helps create three-dimensional forms as well, which allow for depth in the piece. Overall, this piece balances light and dark by having things like the wall and the tablecloth being light in order to prevent the piece from being overwhelmingly dark, allowing for a more natural feel.
Hi, I'm Lizzie Klein. I'm a senior undergraduate student at FAU, majoring in biological sciences in the hopes of going to medical school. In Pablo Picasso's The Frugal Meal, the formal element that I chose is texture and pattern. Picasso creates a dense, repetitive pattern of cross-hatched lines across the tablecloth and the figure's clothing, which generates a tactile texture. This pattern forces the viewer's eyes to settle on the rough surfaces of their surroundings, which stands in direct contrast to the smooth and almost hollow surfaces of the subject's face and hands. For me, this resonates deeply because of my professional life as a medical assistant in a dermatology clinic. I constantly see the skin of individuals with different skin textures and patterns. I use surface observations of texture and patterns as a clinical tool to understand a patient's health, in addition to their pathology results. Our group chose this piece because it highlights how formal elements communicate emotion and also our chosen career goals. Thank you for watching.